Ahoy hoy, it's your boy Attack Slug at the end of the night here. Just finished watching that Sony conference that Sony wins. That's all I have to say about that. But I got 3 pages here to go through, so we will get through the recap of this Sony conference, and then maybe I can go to bed because I'm fucking exhausted. Alright, so we started off with a dubstep montage at the top of the show. They were running about 15 minutes late, which is about par for the course for Sony. They are always running late. Interestingly enough, in the montage, I saw, like, Dive Kick, I saw Lost Planet 3, I saw Earth Defense Force. That was kind of weird, but cool. Then Jack Tretton comes out, starts talking about games that are going to be better on PS3 or PS4. Showed some Batman, showed some Killzone, Doki Doki something, Tearaway. Mentioned that the Vita's getting God of War HD, Final Fantasy X and X-2, Flower, Dead Nation. The Vita is getting Walking Dead plus that new 400 Days DLC. They talked about some Vita apps, which is really, who cares, because they're Vita. I have a Vita, but I don't use the apps. I don't really care. Then we get a trailer for The Last of Us, which is kind of strange because that game's out this week. But it still looks really good, and I can't wait to play it. We got a trailer for Puppeteer, which still looks good. It's out this year. Trailer for Rain, which I don't really know. I mean, it could be interesting. It's indie game. We got a new trailer for Beyond Two Souls, which looks way different than the old trailers looked. It's got like a military thing going on now. Where's the invisible monster? Like, I don't know. I'm told it's earlier in the game when you get your training, but it totally, like, out of left field for that one. That's going to be out in October. Saw some more Gran Turismo 6, which honestly looks kind of better than Forza 5, which is weird because that's like last gen versus next gen, but that's just me looking at the trailers. That could be all bullshots, and fake footage, who knows. Batman Arkham Origins, guess what? It's got the Joker. That's coming out in October. It's got exclusive DLC in that. They're doing a GTA 5 bundle for the PS3 that's going to be $300. And they're also doing some kind of a headset or something that has some kind of exclusive audio mix, or I don't really... Anyway, they moved on to the PS4. They showed the console. It's a black rectangle that is half glossy and half matte. It looks like, I'm not really sure where the disc goes in. It looks kind of like the PS3, the PS2. It's a square, but it's angular, so it's like a yeah. Look the pictures up. It's interesting. But it's basically, a box. Who cares? Then they talked for a little bit about media services, which is like, I wrote down here a bunch of Z's because I really don't care. Exclusive media content, but he kept saying games, and I'm like, that's not games. That's things to watch. They're gonna do pay-per-views on that kind of stuff. Then they brought out Yoshida, who is the president of Worldwide Studios. Who's a really cool dude who responds to fans on Twitter quite often. And as they were showing, he was talking about how all the fans tweet him, and they had some like on the screen behind him, and one of the tweets says, "Please don't block used games," and that'll be an important thing that I will bring up when I get to page 3 here. But at the time, I was like, "Huh, that's interesting that they would show that on their stage at their press conference for people to see." New IP, Sony Santa Monica, Ready at Dawn, The Order 1866. It looks like a steampunk game with werewolves or something. They didn't actually show any game footage, but it is a PS4 game, and it looked pretty good. So hopefully some of that is in-engine at least. There's been a big thing with these videos where it's all in-engine but not actually gameplay, and that's kind of annoying. They did show more in-game stuff for Killzone, Drive Club, Infamous Second Son, and Knack. Now, Killzone, Drive Club, and Knack will be at launch. Infamous Second Son will be out next year. And those all still look pretty good. Quantic Dream had a tech demo called The Dark Sorcerer, which had some interesting humor to it, where it was this dude doing this whole demonic thing with a goblin, and then it ended up being like a movie shoot. But that's all like tech demo, so that might become a game eventually. It was the same old man face from the thing they showed back at the thing in the reveal in February. Then we bring out the indie talk for all the indie games, and they showed a bunch of indie games that are all going to have their exclusive console debut on the PS4, meaning that it would be, you know, a timed exclusive. So they showed a little bit of The Witness, and then they brought out Supergiant Games to talk about Transistor for a little bit. That's going to be 2014. They showed the console version of Don't Starve, which is crazy. They showed Mercenary Kings, which kind of looks like a 2D Contra with like hand-drawn sprites, from the same dudes who did Scott Pilgrim. They showed Octodad, which is weird for a console game, but sure, I'll play Octodad. They showed Secret Ponchos, which is like a Western type game. They showed Ray's Quest. They showed Outlast, which is a horror game. They're remaking Oddworld and calling it Oddworld New and Tasty. There is a space shooter called Galax Z, where it's Galax and then a Z. Looked alright. Those are all having their console debuts on PS4. Diablo 3 on PS3, PS4 is going to have some exclusive armor things. I don't really play Diablo, so. Final Fantasy Versus is no longer Final Fantasy Versus 13. It is now Final Fantasy 15. They had a trailer. It had gameplay. That game still exists. Now, when it's coming out, it's been, you know, they announced that shit when they announced PS3. So, your guess is as good as mine. Also, Final Fantasy 14 is coming to PS3 and PS4. That is kind of a long time, you know, at this point. So, I'm gonna, like, I was in the PC beta, so I don't know. Not sure if that's, I don't really play those kinds of games. Moving on, Assassin's Creed 4 game demo, which locked up and hitched and eventually crashed, which never a good look for E3 to have your demo crash. Just not good. But the game looks alright outside of that. Then went into a demo for Watch Dogs, which did not crash, thankfully. That game still looks really cool and looks really fun to play. I am looking forward to that a great deal on any platform that I can get it for, but probably on PS4. They showed some tablet stuff for Watch Dogs, which, you know, I don't really care about tablets. I don't have one. I have, you know, an S3, and I have an iPod, so I can use Smart Glass, but it's not really my thing. There's going to be an extra hour of gameplay in the PS4 version of Watch Dogs. They showed in-engine sports game stuff. They had a digital LeBron James. It was kind of creepy. Elder Scrolls Online is going to be on the PS4 in 2014. And they talked about some kind of an exclusive beta, even though the PC version is like in beta right now, is my understanding. But I guess it's like console exclusive beta. Then we got a trailer that everyone kind of started to assume was Fallout, but was not Fallout. It was Mad Max, being developed by Avalanche, of all studios. So that could end up being really cool, because the Just Cause games are really cool. But that trailer got no applause. Like, silence in there. It was creepy. And then it was 140 games in development for the PS4. And then I have here in big fucking capital letters, Sony fucking wins. Because there will be no online authentication. There will be no restrictions on your used games. There will be no game authentication, period. Everything will work the exact same way it currently works, which is all people wanted in the first place. Sony fucking wins. The only small caveat that they had to go back on is that the online multiplayer is going behind the paywall. So just like it is on Xbox, where you want to play online, behind the paywall. I don't do a whole lot of online gaming. That doesn't affect me. I already have PS Plus because if you have multiple Sony consoles, you're gonna want to have PS Plus anyway. Yeah, it's got the cloud saving, it's got free games, and all kinds of discounts. And honestly, it is worth the money. So if you have PS Plus when you get PS4, it's all the same account, and you'll be getting Drive Club, which is a launch game, for free day one. So if you had planned on buying a launch game like Drive Club, that's $60. So just spend the 50 and get Anyway, moving on. We got some gameplay stuff for Destiny, which looks pretty good. It looks kind of like Halo meets Borderlands meets Star Wars. I'm not a whole big fan of FPS. I play them from time to time, and this is a lot of like heavy multiplayer. The stage demo had some really awkward banter. That's kind of been an E3 thing this year, of just FPS games having awkward banter in their stage demos. So, you know, whatever. That is a 2014. It is termed here as a long-term exclusive. I'm not sure if that means content, downloadable content. That game's gonna be on everything. I thought was my original when I heard about it, but that's an Activision joint, so I'm sure it's gonna be on everything. It's talked about the Gaikai stuff for a bit as like an all access, which is gonna be out. It's not gonna be out for launch. It'll be out next year. That's gonna be their online streaming, where if you have Gaikai, which I'm assuming is gonna be behind the PS Plus paywall, PS4, PS3, and Vita will have access to a streaming catalog, like a, I guess, greatest hits, something or other, of PS3 games. So if you want to play PS3 games on the Vita, that's the way to do that. If you want to play, obviously since the PS4 is not backwards compatible, if you want to play PS3 games on the PS4, that is a way to do that. Personally, I have a PS3. I don't plan on getting rid of it. If it dies, I'll probably buy another one. So that's really not, like, backward compatibility to me is not that big of a deal. Because I have a whole lot of game consoles back there. Anyway, they announced the price, and that is the final nail in the coffin. It will be $399 US, a full 100 below Microsoft, because obviously they aren't having to pack in a big-ass camera. And that, keeping all of their same PS3 policies, not doing any of the fucking draconian consumer rights violating bullshit policies that Microsoft is doing, in addition to the price of $399, that's it. If you like video games and you want to keep playing video games the way they're currently played and enjoying them, PS4 is going to be the way to go. And that sounds like crazy fanboy shit, I know, but I own all the consoles. I would like to buy all the consoles, but if Microsoft fucked it up. Now, they could obviously at some point walk those policies back, but as of right now, I'm just buying a PS4. And I already ordered it off Amazon, so, you know. So that's the end of my 3 pages of nonsense for the PS4, or the Sony conference. They didn't show enough stuff for the Vita, and I would like more stuff for my Vita, but that's kind of neither here nor there. But that is the end of my PS4 thing. This has been almost 15 minutes now, so I need to end this video. I'll be doing the Wii, or the Nintendo stuff tomorrow morning, and that will be the last press conference that I'm doing for E3, obviously, because that's all the press conferences. So this is Hackslug, signing off. It's late. I need to go to bed. E3 2013.